Grand opening, grand closing. Puerto77, your only friend, these YouTube streets. Listen, the game came out the gate flopping. Let's all be honest. We talk about a lot of games coming out the gate flopping, right? Anthem, Marvel's Avengers, Suicide Squad, Gotham Knights, of course, like 90% of Xbox first party library, it goes through, so Sony doesn't get an exemption letter, right? But what I really want to talk about, right, is having a conversation on Twitter. Everybody's, or some people are telling me give it a chance or whatever, because this is what we asked for. We're like now all of a sudden we're the ones asking for a multiplayer game. Apparently it was us. PlayStation console gamers were asking for Sony to deliver more multiplayer. Okay, all right. Let's talk about that. So you're telling me that it was us that influenced Sony to strategize a live service strategy that had to include PC. So we want games on PC day one, because that's their strategy. In order for the strategy to work, it has to be on PC, because live service strategy requires more players. So we want games to go on. We PlayStation console gamers want games to be made on PC. First party games. That's us. So that's our idea. We strategize this. We demanded Sony to come up with something that ultimately required games on PC. No, we didn't do that shit. None of us. Let's stop lying. It's only a few people that are asking for multiplayer. And here's the crazy part. Sony doesn't even completely trust the PlayStation fan base to make their live service games successful. Because if they did, the games will be exclusive. They will not be on PC. Or at a minimum, they will treat these live service games no different than the single player games. First on PlayStation, optimize, make sure it's perfectly crafted for the console, and then put it on PC a year or two later. So Sony doesn't even trust the dudes that want multiplayer games. Sony don't trust you, because if they did, they wouldn't put it on PC. They put the single players on our platform first. They even said it's not going on PC day and date. It's going to be crafted for the console, this tempo, all this crazy shit, right? But the multiplayer game, no, that's got to go on PC day and date. PlayStation's not enough. You're telling me we asked for that? We asked for that. That was something we pushed Sony to that. Cut this out, all right? Cut it all out. The PlayStation 4, right, before the PlayStation 5 existed, PlayStation 4 was the most successful PlayStation. Obviously, PlayStation 5 took it over, right? But PlayStation 4 brought it back, because PlayStation 3 killed all momentum. Most of you don't know, PlayStation 3 made no profit. Zero. It was in the red the entire gen. No money was made off that thing. It was a complete loss. Complete financial loss for the PlayStation 3. Sony never made money off that thing. Done. PlayStation 4 came back from the brink of nothing, and not only made all the money back, made crazy money, and became the most successful PlayStation until obviously PS5 already took over, right? But that momentum started with the PlayStation 4, and it wasn't because of first-party multiplayer games. Let's not cap, okay? Sure, third-party multiplayer games is a huge influence of money transaction, whatever. So leave it there. It's clearly what people on PlayStation really want to play. People really want to play the third party, and they're not going nowhere. And it's already set in stone. The Apex Legends, the Fortnite, Warzone, Call of Duty, all of that is set in stone. It's already there. They're happy. All the hardcore people that really want PlayStation multiplayer, they got it. And they're not going nowhere. Even like the Destinies, whatever, they got their multiplayer. Who are you trying to get with more multiplayer? Who? Half the people that are giving props to this game, you're not going to play this game for 2-3 years or whatever. You're just playing it now because it's new. In a couple of months, you're going to forget about this game. You're going to forget about it. So who are these games really for? Really? We asked for more first-party multiplayer when it wasn't even the thing that made PlayStation 4 come back and brought PlayStation back on the map. It wasn't first-party multiplayer. It was the single player. It's just crazy how we all love single player, and then we just get a few comments from dudes on the internet who aren't buying these games. That's the crazy part. The biggest advocates of, Sony first-party multiplayer, we gotta have it, they're not buying this shit. Now there has to be another criteria. It's gotta be good. Good according to who? You haven't played it. All Sony's doing is gonna make more and more games, and these dudes ain't playing it for something that we never cared about. No one asked for Sony first party multiplayer. Nobody asked for that shit. Nobody asked for this. Y'all asked for this? No one cares. No one cares. Nobody wants that. Even Sony, by right, is putting it on PC day one because we're not enough. Because there's not enough of us that really have. In fact, the big group of multiplayer gamers on PlayStation already have their home. They're not going nowhere. They're already married to what they got. Apex Legends, Call of Duty, you know what I'm saying? All those games, Fortnite, all that stuff is there. Warframe is done. They already got their stuff. They're happy. Completely happy. But what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Now it's going to be interesting because, right, the future of this game, there's only two paths to this game. They're either going to go the route of EA, like when Anthem flopped, and then within a year or so, they're just going to cut it dead, or they're going to try to do like what No Man's Sky did, or, Rainbow Six Siege. They're just going to dig in, and hopefully they just keep putting money into it, content into it, and hopefully they could come out of success. But the crazy part is this, right? If they go that route and it doesn't come out of success, that's even a bigger loss. That's even deeper. That's double, triple downing on failure, so it is a risk. So Sony's going to have to come to a decision. Cut their losses completely or keep investing in something and hopefully it will turn around and it'll be successful. But if it doesn't turn around, that's even more of a bigger loss. More manpower wasted, more resources wasted. So it's a crazy, it's a a rock and a hard place in this point. And then what about Sony's next project? Right? Because Sony bought, Bungie. Marathon's the next game. That's the next game. What if Marathon right off the gate flops? Because Marathon was already in progress of being made. It is what it is. So when Sony bought Bungie, hey, boom. You own it. You bought it, you own it. You bought all the problems with it. What if that game flops? And Bungie was what? $3 billion or some shit? Right? We talking about single player games more expensive. Do you know what just simply like $1.5 billion could have done spread across the studios PlayStation already does have? Boost up the personnel for like Sony Band, right? Sucker Punch. So they could have more teams so they could develop more games. Right? That would have been a much better investment, but no, of course not. Because the true people who are pushing this, it's not the gamers. It's the shareholders. It's metrics. It's profit. It's KPIs. It's all the things that they want massive profit and they want reoccurring revenue. You understand? Sony, in a way, is kind of like Microsoft. In a way, they want something that's always reoccurring. For Microsoft, it's Game Pass. They want that subscription. They want that money that just keep coming, perpetually, right? As they grow the audience. Sony's the same way, but they want to do a live service game. They want to make one game and just have that game just bring in crazy revenue, right? But the question is, at what cost? Thank God Naughty Dog said, nah, we shutting this down. And apparently that pissed off the execs. But thank God Naughty Dog, only because they already had a pedigree of greatness in Game of the Years and all that stuff, they had the power to do that. Insomniac also had the power to do it. Because you can't tell Insomniac shit. They're the ones that's pushing games for PlayStation. They're doing it better than any other studio. They're holding PlayStation 5 on its back with all the content they made, right? So that little leak that showed they were thinking about multiplayer Spider-Man, and then they said, nah, we're not doing that. I'm glad they did that. You understand? See, here's the thing. This is not, to me, the strategy for multiplayer is not the same as when the strategy was to push single player. You see, I think the difference between the two is when PlayStation doubled down on single player, because when you think about it, the metrics for single player was not there. Phil Spencer was kind of right from a metric standpoint. Single players wasn't that hitting. It wasn't. Nintendo and Sony made a hit. But without them too, and sure you had a few shining stars here, of course Rockstar is one of the few. But you remove Sony, remove Nintendo, and remove Rockstar. What big awesome single players you got? I think it's really Witcher 3. Because even Cyberpunk flopped when it first came out. So and I think it even came out next gen. But during the gen of PlayStation 4, Witcher 3. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's something that's there, right? But if you take out PlayStation, Nintendo, and Rockstar, that's like the biggest chunks of the top single-player games that are out there, right? That's been made for last gen and stuff, right? And the reason why Sony was successful, because to me, that was a developer initiative. Like, they wanted to do that. It came from them. They're like, yo, we're going to make these banging single-player experiences, right? It wasn't a Wall Street nerd in finance that said, according to the metrics and metric data says single player. Because if it was the Wall Street nerd, right, they would have not greenlit the single player project because the data wasn't there. The data was already showing live service games. It always was, and that's what Phil Spencer was doing, right? But Sony said, nah, we're gonna go off the rope. We're gonna listen to our developers, and it worked. Nintendo did the same thing, and it worked. The single players blew the shit up. Everybody loved it. They did it so good that dude swears that PlayStation first party was their main reason to buy PlayStation since day one on PS1. But that's how beautiful the plan was executed for the PlayStation 4, that people forgot that really exclusive third party was what was pushing PlayStation previously. People think it was Ico in Shadow Colossus. Like, yeah, we bought PlayStation 2s for Ico and shit. Yeah, okay. It wasn't Grand Theft Auto 3. Obviously, it wasn't that. It wasn't Grand Theft Auto 3. It wasn't Final Fantasy X. It wasn't Devil May Cry. It wasn't Metal Gear Solid 2. No, we bought it for Ico. Man, get your asses out of here, right? But PlayStation 4 just completely changed the dynamic from a first-party perspective. Motherfuckers really thought we were buying PlayStation 3s for Resistance. Yes, that was the big killer. Good game, but nobody was really buying a goddamn PlayStation 3 at $600 for Resistance. Come on, stop, bro. MotorStorm, stop. We weren't doing that. It was not happening. Come on now, stop playing, you know? Sony's initiative for single player came from the developers, and it worked. This shit right here is not coming from the developers. They're not the ones that said, yo, Sony, it's time, dog. We already conquered single player. We're going to bang out these multiplayers. It didn't come from them. It came from the other direction. The nerd was like, according to metrics and looking at the books from Bungie, yeah, Naughty Dog, you're going to make a live service game. I was like, well, yeah, you're not going to do multiplayer because the data doesn't support traditional multiplayer. That's over. It's a live service game. Shut that down. You're not going to include it with The Last of Us 2. Wrap this up. We going live service. All right. And Insomniac, while making that, they were like, yeah, we really like that Spider-Man stuff. And they're like, yeah, cool. Can you make it live service? Insomniac's like, live service Spider-Man game? Yeah. Just make it, yeah. Because the data shows in the metrics, the KPIs, key performance indicators. Shareholders want this stuff. We want gas. We want gas Spider-Man game. Of course. Everyone wants that. Who? We all asked for that. Not. We ain't asked for that shit. Look at Suicide Squad. That shit flopped. Ain't nobody asked for that bullshit. Everybody was asking for Batman. Rocksteady, give us another Batman. We were ready. Listen, the game was already purchased. Rocksteady and Warner Brothers didn't realize it. Listen, a new Batman, that was already purchased. You just didn't realize it. We already gave you your money for the next Batman. We already have the $70. It's already there. All you had to do was just make the game and you got the $70. It was already there. Warner Brothers, Rocksteady. The game was already bought. It was already bought. It was already done. It was already a big seller. All you had to do was just follow through. But you did that Suicide Squad shit. What, gamers wanted that? No, we ain't want that shit. We ain't asked for this shit. So cut that out. At this point, listen, and the reason why I'm doing this is because this conversation, this channel is not going to be like these Xbox channels where they just let shit slide. No. Sony's not going to get soft treatment. You spare the rod, you spoil the child. I'm not sparing the rod. I'm going to crack their heads and see brain matter bleed. Brain matter's going to be all over the pavement. I'm not sparing no goddamn rod because of Sony. No. You allow this shit, they're just going to keep on doing this shit. Right? Let's not fool ourselves. We didn't ask for this. And I doubt developers united and Sony came together like, this, to me, this is the shit Jordan did when he decided to play baseball. That's exactly the same bullshit. The fuck is you doing? Man, if you don't get your punk ass back on a goddamn basketball court, you ain't trying to see this shit. You ain't trying to see your ass be in the batter's box, man. See your ass strike out. Boy, get your ass back in the garden. They don't see you play baseball. Michael Jordan, baseball player. The fuck? Nah. Right? You cannot tell me, PlayStation Nation, that you wanted this idea that relied, and I'm going to say relied, on PC to help make it successful. Bullshit. Don't lie to me. Don't do it. Don't even stop the cap. Stop the cap. No one care about this. Stop it. We didn't do this, okay? This is the first big flop. We'll see how it goes. But how many flops is enough? When is enough is enough? You tell me. What I want, I'm going to be honest, and we all wanted to. I don't know why we even lying. We want the single player games. Let's just stop lying. Right? PlayStation 4 was a banging gen. And we got the titles that we want. And nobody really cared about first party multiplayer. There's only a few people that just want to do it for content on the channel. They ain't buying this shit. It's just shit they're going to put on their channels. Let's just be honest. Ain't nobody asking for Sony to make these games and make them day one on PC, doing all these resources and stuff like that. $3 billion acquisition on goddamn Bungie. Get out of here. That $3 billion, boy, we could have put that towards, some more Japanese development studios and stuff like that. Now, I will say this. I am so happy that at least Sony's still doing, their hero projects between, Korea, China Hero. Now they're in Africa and the Middle East. So they have all these projects where they're finding new talent, new development studios, to create new creative games, So I'm thankful for that. At least they have that. Thank God. Thank God they have that, But for me personally, what I would have wanted Sony to focus on this gen was to strengthen the thing that brought them back last gen, and that was their first party studios. That's what they should have done this gen. They should have reinforced the very thing that got them here. But instead, they want to take a risk because shareholders are making them take the risk. So all the execs doing all this stuff because a goddamn dude in finance, Goddamn, what is it? That stupid ass song. Looking for a man in finance. 6'5", blue eyes, trust fund. Shut the fuck up. Looking man for finance, trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. Shut your bitch ass up. We ain't trying to see your punk ass. We're not looking for no goddamn man in finance. We're looking for goddamn games. We want goaties. That's what we're looking for. We want the goaties. God, man. Let me ask you something. When was the last time we bragged? Listen, we're 4 years deep in the gen. When we... have you noticed we haven't bragged about a goatee? Have you noticed that? Have you guys noticed that? I just realized that. That's going to be another video. It's 2024. Where's our goatee? We haven't talked shit about goatees. God. Anyway. Thank you for rocking the channel. Let me know what you think, man. Hit up the comment section. Peace. Grand opening, grand closing.